our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5,
right?
And you still competing. It just don't make sense.
First of all, that vote is fake as that's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are huge ones.
There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally, emotionally, financially.
50. Welcome back to Fame Radar, where fame meets the facts and nothing stays hidden. 50 Cent and Eminem are officially joining forces to expose Jay-Z and Beyoncé, accusing the power couple of questionable tactics, from allegedly exploiting Black artists to influencing award outcomes and systematically eliminating threats in their path. According to 50 Cent, Jay-Z is still actively working behind the scenes to sabotage his ventures. Meanwhile, Eminem has consistently warned about hidden power structures in the music industry. Now their tensions with Jay-Z are escalating again, with Eminem embedding cryptic lines in recent tracks pointing to silent gatekeepers and manipulated fame. At the same time, Beyoncé faces long-standing accusations.
When you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what went through with Joe.
Of appropriating songwriting credits and allegedly blocking the rise of several female artists, including Aaliyah, Ameri, Mia, Carrie Hilson, and more. These claims have intensified, with critics suggesting a calculated pattern of industry control. The controversy doesn't stop there. Jay-Z and Beyoncé's association with Diddy, currently under federal scrutiny, is also raising fresh concerns. Although Jay-Z sidestepped involvement in the Jane Doe lawsuit, the alleged victim now suggests she was intimidated into silence, allegedly by mysterious individuals who appeared at her residence unannounced. With all of these allegations emerging at once,
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You start looking at that's not mine. That's theirs. They harbor it, right? But when you look at M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like it do so much G-Unit Records.
Right.
They forget that I'm M and Dre's artist.
people are seriously reevaluating whether the Carters are truly untouchable or simply experts at erasing the evidence. The question now is, do 50 Cent and Eminem possess insider knowledge of Jay-Z and Beyonce's alleged misconduct?
Things like that. This is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing, right, with the Super Bowl, because he was doing like,
yeah, go ahead.
He was doing some wild because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team, but they got an issue with my performance? Right, makes no sense.
So I was going to get to that later, but since we're here now. And when he says "oh boy" for the audience that don't, talking about Jay-Z, this was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened.
Possibly. Not even threatened. I think it's just when you take your competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like
Right.
right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5,
Right.
and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for?
Tell me.
What's the goal? Like this even look, a lot of the even a lot of the competitive stuff, or what we would call it beef, right? And it changed. That terminology changed when it's Biggie and Tupac, because we start saying the things that people would say that cause beef in the environment.
Right.
When before that, they called it battling in our culture.
Right.
Right. Because that's what it is until it turns into some street shit. So when you're not competing for those things anymore, and you start looking and you're going, so what was the problem? You can't exactly remember what the problem was. That's what I went through with Joe.
And how many artists or careers have been strategically dismantled along the way? For years, Jay-Z and Beyoncé were widely regarded as music industry royalty, untouchable and unstoppable. Criticizing them was often dismissed as bitterness or envy. But that once pristine image is starting to crack as more insiders from the industry are stepping forward with claims. Leading this wave of revelations are none other than 50 Cent and Eminem. Starting with 50 Cent, he has once again accused Jay-Z of being insecure, jealous, and manipulative.
Andre Young, thank you, sir. All the doors that you opened, showed us that we can be rock stars. Seeing you on the Rolling Stone. Obviously, there's Run DMC with the Leathers and the Aerosmith. But when you came out west, you took it to a whole new level. Some of you don't belong in the category. Oh, no, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
And he's backing it up with specific examples. Back in 2023, 50 Cent revealed that Jay allegedly tried to prevent him from performing at the Super Bowl by leveraging his influence with the NFL. That plan ultimately failed because Eminem reportedly refused to perform unless 50 Cent was included in the lineup. The performance went ahead as planned, but the behind-the-scenes tension was undeniable. In a recent interview on Talk with Flea featuring Cameron,
you have a few Grammys, but you feel like you had to sell your soul to get them. And you didn't know if you wanted it for the recognition or the trophies, but then what's the difference? And that Grammys pretty much suck the blood of artists and nominate them, have them come to the shows. And
which they do. They do it every year, yeah. And I'm just tired of seeing it. And for whatever reason, it's like they're always pitching this hint that you might win Album of the Year, which used to be a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal now.
50 Cent doubled down. He claimed Jay-Z is still interfering in his business ventures, not just musically, but across various industries. What's surprising is that 50 acknowledged Jay has already cemented his legacy, so the continued sabotage seems driven purely by spite.
I watched 50, same 50 did not win Best New Artist at the Grammys.
There was nothing bigger than 50.
Nothing bigger, and nobody since maybe like Snoop came out the gate like that. My first album didn't do it. I never saw someone's first album and the wave happen like he had. And then he doesn't get it. And then I get up there another year, and what was it, the Eminem show? And it was like, whatever. I'm fine if I lose to Kanye or someone that I'm like, okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't get us all here to use your selling point for your show and stiff everybody every single time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I go to the Grammy.
These claims are now gaining more attention, especially as other artists and executives begin echoing similar stories about behind-the-scenes manipulation. The veil of invincibility surrounding the Carters is being pulled back, revealing a potentially different narrative than what fans have long believed. Additionally, 50 Cent has now teamed up with Eminem to call out the Carters for allegedly manipulating Grammy outcomes. 50 Cent has accused Jay-Z of leveraging his marriage to Beyonce as a strategic move to secure awards behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Eminem has long maintained that the Grammy system is rigged, labeling it a pay-to-play operation that favors influence over artistry. As many recall, Beyoncé finally won Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, a historic moment that sparked widespread discussion. Yet, not all observers were convinced the win was entirely earned. Some believe Jay-Z used his influence to sway the outcome, particularly after his speech at the previous year's ceremony. During that event, Jay-Z criticized the Recording Academy for allegedly overlooking Beyoncé in the past.
Did you ever consider, joining a board and maybe you have a vote in it?
First of all, that vote is fake. That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings. This got critical acclaim, but it sold 2 records. It ain't about always what you sell. I get that. Vanilla Ice, I understand. You know what I'm saying? But there comes a point where when an overwhelming something comes along that has this wave and impact on music, and you give it to Lada Dottie. Who? Lada Dottie. Sound like Lottie Dottie.
While simultaneously accepting an award on stage. Many found that moment to be contradictory. If the Grammys are biased, critics asked, why continue to seek their validation instead of taking a principled stand and boycotting them entirely? The optics of that speech raised questions and intensified the long-standing rumors that the Carters have used tactics like blackmail and backdoor deals to maintain their industry dominance.
Sure they attend.
Is when he started to receive the 16 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. They don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things they would. Later, to me, I didn't care about trophies. I said, I'll get the checks.
These allegations aren't new. Industry insiders have repeatedly said the Grammys reward politics and power over merit. Among the most vocal critics has been Eminem, who has publicly called the Grammys a sham and vowed never to attend again. His statements have only added credibility to those questioning the integrity of music's most prestigious awards. Eminem has consistently clarified that his frustration with the Grammys isn't about losing, it's about fairness.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
this guy, you're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
No, he has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong. At the same time.
He's like drinking his pictures with him. It's the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got. Oh, wow. So that's the deal.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
He has stated he wouldn't mind losing if the winning artist had genuinely released a better album. What bothers him is how the Recording Academy uses his name to generate buzz, drawing in viewers under the illusion that he has a legitimate shot at winning, only to shut him out when it counts. This pattern has led to growing skepticism about the credibility of the entire award system. In an interview, Eminem was asked if he'd reconsider attending if he were part of the voting process. His response was blunt. It wouldn't matter. He emphasized that the process is so compromised, being on the committee wouldn't change anything because, as he put it, the votes themselves don't actually matter. At the same time, 50 Cent has been equally critical of the Recording Academy. He didn't just imply the awards are flawed, he directly accused the institution of prioritizing celebrity influence over genuine talent. Specifically, he alleged that Jay-Z's Grammy success is tied more to his high-profile marriage to Beyoncé than to his artistry alone. According to 50 Cent, the Academy leverages the Carters' presence to boost ratings. By ensuring Jay-Z and Beyoncé continue to receive nominations and awards, the show secures headline-worthy appearances and viewership spikes. In that context, the recognition appears less about merit and more about marketing. These claims underscore a broader concern, that the Grammys have become more about orchestrated appearances than celebrating authentic musical excellence. But the criticism didn't stop there. During a recent appearance on the Flagrant podcast, 50 Cent reinforced his position that Jay-Z's success, especially his repeated Grammy wins, has more to do with his marriage to Beyoncé than actual musical impact. He went further, suggesting their relationship may operate more like a strategic contract than a genuine partnership, maintained to preserve their dominant status in the industry. However, these claims aren't isolated to one source. Multiple insiders have echoed similar allegations, accusing both Jay-Z and Beyoncé of deliberately blocking the progress of other artists to protect their own influence and commercial viability. According to these insiders, rising stars have been strategically sidelined to ensure the Carters remain the faces of mainstream success. One particularly striking accusation came from Beyoncé's former bodyguard, known as Uncle Ron. Before his passing from pneumonia, he alleged that he possessed evidence showing that both Jay-Z and Beyoncé manipulated the careers, and in some cases the lives, of others who posed a threat to their ascent. He claimed this was part of a larger pattern of calculated career control. Another source fueling the controversy is Jaguar Wright, a former background vocalist who worked with Jay-Z in the early days of his career. Wright has become one of the most outspoken critics of the Carters. She has accused Jay-Z of allowing or even facilitating career-ending obstacles for others in his orbit. She even suggested that notable figures like Harlem rapper Big L met untimely ends or suffered suspicious setbacks as part of a larger plan to clear a path for Jay-Z's rise. These accounts, while heavily debated, continue to gain traction among those who believe there's more to the Carter empire than meets the eye. Now shifting focus to Big L, one of Harlem's most promising underground lyricists in the early 1990s. Known for his razor-sharp freestyles and lyrical precision, Big L signed with Columbia Records and dropped a well-received debut album. But after parting ways with the label, he moved independently and established his own imprint. That's when his talent reportedly caught the attention of Rockefeller Records co-founder Dame Dash, suggesting that a major career breakthrough was on the horizon. However, just as Big L's momentum was building, his life was cut short. On February 15, 1999, he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. Despite the high-profile nature of the case, his murder remains officially unsolved. Over the years, speculation has lingered about the motives and people involved. Among the more controversial voices raising questions is Jaguar Wright, who has implied that there may have been industry interests tied to Big L's untimely death. She suggested that certain figures may have benefited from Big L's absence at a pivotal moment in New York hip-hop's power reshuffling. That leads directly to another high-profile figure, DMX, who, like 50 Cent, never shied away from confronting Jay-Z. In 2004, when Jay-Z took the helm as president of Def Jam Records, DMX had already delivered 5 consecutive #1 albums between 1998 and 2003, making him one of the label's most reliable stars. But when it came time to release his 6th studio album, Year of the Dog, again, DMX alleged that Jay-Z intentionally delayed the project. According to DMX, this wasn't accidental. It was a calculated move to ensure Jay's return to music wouldn't be overshadowed. Many fans and insiders saw it as more than just business. It was a battle for control over Def Jam's spotlight. But that wasn't the end of it. In 2005, DMX released a track titled The Industry, where he exposed what he described as the dark and manipulative nature of the music business. The lyrics were raw, direct, and still resonate with current realities in the entertainment world. Much of what DMX called out back then remains relevant today. Adding to the conversation, the late Irv Gotti once stated in an interview that Jay-Z was highly envious of DMX's rise. He even claimed Jay and his mentor, Leor Cohen, would mock DMX behind closed doors, underestimating his ability to break through and become a star. That dynamic set the tone for how rising talent was often handled inside the label system. And it didn't stop with DMX. Similar allegations surfaced from Beanie Sigel, another Rockefeller artist who once had major momentum. According to Siegel, internal politics prevented him from fully taking off. He described how Jay-Z would strategically release his own projects around the same time as Beanie's albums, limiting Beanie's commercial exposure and sales potential. While Beanie Sigel acknowledged making personal missteps, particularly involving legal troubles, he also made it clear that Jay-Z's timing and decisions were intentional. The implication was simple. Behind the scenes, it felt like Jay-Z was positioning himself to remain the sole focus, even if it came at the expense of his own artists. But Beyoncé's name can't be left out of this unfolding narrative. While some portray her as simply being managed or influenced by Jay-Z, it's clear that their partnership may involve deeper shared strategies, particularly when it comes to eliminating perceived competition. Many believe both have employed behind-the-scenes moves against artists they considered threats. Take the example of singer Amerie. When Beyoncé began her solo career after Destiny's Child and linked up with Jay-Z, reports surfaced that Jay allegedly pulled producer Rich Harrison, who had worked closely with Amerie, away from her to craft Beyoncé's breakout single. The sound of Amerie's hit One Thing bears a strong resemblance to Beyoncé's Crazy in Love, raising questions about whether creative control was redirected to serve Beyoncé's launch. Then there's Carrie Hilson, who became embroiled in controversy after reportedly recording a track that some interpreted as a Beyoncé diss. Hilson denied the song was directed at Beyoncé, but further backlash erupted when she was photographed refusing to hold a magazine featuring Beyoncé and Jay-Z on the cover. That single moment triggered a wave of negative press. The reaction from Beyoncé's fan base was intense, and Hilson became the target of relentless online attacks and even alleged real-world harassment. As these events played out, rumors grew that the situation wasn't organic. Some sources suggested Beyoncé's team may have deliberately set Hilson up by manipulating her producers, steering her into a trap that led to her being blackballed, while Beyoncé remained above the fray, publicly unaffected. However, instead of offering an apology or addressing the situation publicly, Beyoncé quietly removed the milkshake sample and never acknowledged the theft accusations. And then there's Maya, who was reportedly blackballed in the industry after allegedly rejecting advances from Jay-Z. Mia previously spoke on how certain powerful figures in the music world misuse that power in harmful ways, creating an environment that can be especially dangerous for young and ambitious artists unaware of the consequences tied to industry access. When asked how she avoided getting pulled into that energy, Mia explained that she simply said no and walked away. However, she also hinted that refusing certain individuals may have led to her being blacklisted and having her name tarnished within powerful circles. So, taking all this into account, it's clear that multiple artists, each from different corners of the industry, have suggested that Jay-Z and Beyoncé may have played a role in sabotaging careers behind the scenes. And this isn't even the full list. These are only a few names who've dared to speak up. But what's your take on these allegations involving two of music's most powerful figures? Do you think there's truth to the claims made by people like 50 Cent and Eminem? No. And are there other artists not mentioned here who might have also faced silent blackballing from the Carter's orbit? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and stick around for more deep dives like this in the next video.